Hello students, Sai Ram. Welcome back in your active English class. Today we will do chapter number 30, that is mid-position adverbials. That is mid-position adverbials. So let's start the chapter. Adverbials. What is an adverbials? Well, to understand adverbials, we need to do just a little bit of recap on adverbs. Now, what is an adverbs? You know the answer. Tell me. Adverbs. The words which tells us more about verbs are called adverbs. Okay. Now, you can see adverbs. Adverb is a root word of adverbials. Adverb, adverbials. Now let's see the definition here. An adverbials is a word or a phrase that has been used like an adverb to add details or further information to a verb. That means adverbials is a word or a phrase that has been used like an adverb. Okay, it behaves like an adverb. It is used like an adverb to add details or further information to a verb. Okay, or we can say adverbials are words that we use to give more information about a verb. It can be information about how, when, where something is done. So they modify a verb. Modify means give more information, details of a verb. Now, adverbial phrases or words can make a sentence more interesting and exciting. Like, we always eat dinner at 8 p.m. We eat dinner at 8 p.m. We always eat dinner at 8 p.m. So to understand this, let's see few adverbial words. Always, often, sometimes, never. Always, often, sometimes, never. Now, these words are called adverbs of frequency. These words are called adverbs of frequency. Now, these are the words we use often with the simple present. Okay, so these are the words we often use with simple present to talk about how often, how much we do something. Okay, how often, how much we do something. Like how often or how frequently something happens. Okay, now let's understand all these words one by one. Now, first word is always. Now, always means you do it all of the time, every time. Okay, that means you do it always, 100% of the time. That is called always. Let's see one example here. He always goes to the temple. He always goes to the temple. That means there are 7 days in the week. Now all the 7 days he goes to the temple. Like Monday to Sunday he goes to the temple. That means always. He always goes to the temple. Now the second word is often. Now you can see often has a letter T. Okay, which sometimes we pronounce and sometimes we don't. Like some people say it, some people don't. So if you hear often or often, both are same. Often, often, both. It's a same thing. It's the same word. Often means a little bit less than always. Like it means 75% of the time. 75% of the time, or we can say most of the time. Okay, or we can say many times. Like he often goes to the temple. Now, out of 7 days, he is going temple 5 days. That means he often goes to the temple. Not always. Often means less than always. 75%. There's one more example. I often shop for groceries on Sunday mornings. That means in a month there is 5 Sundays. So I am going 3 Sundays out of 5. That time I will use I often shop for groceries on Sunday mornings. Okay. Then I often ride my bike to work. That means out of 30 days, 25 days, I ride my bicycle to work. Not always. Okay, I often ride my bike to work. Now, let's see the next one. Sometimes. Sometime is about 50% of the time. Okay, like 50% out of 100, 50%. Or we can say at times. Let's see the example here. He sometimes goes to the temple. That means if I take 30 days in a month, 15 days he is going to the temple and 50 days he is not. That means he sometimes goes to the temple 50 days, like 50%. Okay, there's one more example. I sometimes watch TV and I sometimes read a book. That means 50%. Whatever I feel like. Sometimes this, sometimes that. So I sometimes watch TV and sometimes I read a book. Like 50%. Okay. Now, let's see the next one. Never. Now, what is never? Never means this is something you do 0% of the time. That this is something you do 0% of the time. That means at no time, on no occasion. Not today, not tomorrow. He never goes to the temple. That means he never, 0%. I never go to zoo. She never cleans her teeth in the bedroom. Never. That means 0 time. Okay. That is never. Now let's see sets of examples. First word, we will see the examples of always. Now, I always study after the class. I always study after the class. Like 100%. I always study after the class. I always wake up at 7 in the morning. That means every single day I wake up at 7 in the morning. I always. Next, I always eat breakfast. It's a good habit. I always, like every single day, eat breakfast. 100%. Next, never. I never drink coffee. I never drink coffee. Means 0%. I will never, not today, not tomorrow. I will never drink coffee. I never drink coffee. Okay. I never play baseball. It's a game which I never played. So I will not play today, not tomorrow. I will never play baseball. 0%. I am never late for school. I am never late for school. 0%. I'm always on the time. Always on the time. I am never late for school. Okay. That's the next example. Sometimes. Now 50%. Okay. I sometimes eat chocolate. I sometimes eat chocolate. So that's my wish. I sometimes eat chocolate. I sometimes eat ice cream. I sometimes eat pizza. So that's optional. So 50%. Next, I sometimes play tennis on the weekend. So weekend means Saturday, Sunday. So sometimes I play tennis on the weekend. I sometimes read a book before I go to bed. So before sleeping, I read a book. So sometimes I read a book, sometimes I don't. Or sometimes I want to watch TV, sometimes I want to walk. So before sleeping. So I sometimes read a book before I go to bed. Okay, now last one, often. They often go to theatre. That means they are not always going, but 75% they are going to theatre. They often go to theatre. Next, I often clean my bedroom at the weekend. That means not always. Like 75% at the end of the weekend, I clean my room. I often clean my room. Next, Mohan and Nitin often go for lunch together. Means they both go for lunch together often, not always, often. Like 75% they go for lunch together. So Mohan and Nitin often go for lunch together. Now I request all of you to take out your Active English book, page number 57. Let's do the textual exercise. Write out the sentences adding one of these words. Let's see the words here. Always, never, sometimes, often. Okay, so what does it mean? You have to add one of these words to the sentence to give more information about the sentence. Okay, that is called adverbials. So we will add the adverbials in between the sentence, mid position adverbials. That means we will add these words in middle of the sentence to make it more meaningful. Okay, let's see first one. A dog has 4 legs. A dog has 4 legs. Now, a dog dash has 4 legs. Now here you have to add one word out of these to make it more meaningful. So now you have to add one of these adverbials to make more meaningful. Okay, that is called mid-position adverbials. Okay, so you have to select one word. Now, a dog always has 4 legs. Dog never have 4 legs. Dog sometimes have 4 legs. Dog often has 4 legs. So tell me the correct answer. How many legs does dog have? So have you ever seen dog with 1 leg, 2 legs, 3, 4? That means a dog always has 4 legs. Correct. So the adverbial is always. It is coming in middle. Okay, a dog always has 4 legs. Okay, let's see the next one. Again, you have to select one word out of these. We come to school by aeroplane. We come to school by aeroplane. We never. So answer is already given. We never. Now you have to complete the sentence. We never dash. We never dash. Tell me, have you ever seen a child coming to school in an aeroplane? No, right? We never come to school by aeroplane. We never come to school by aeroplane. Very good. Now let's see the next question. We write in our books. We write in our books. Now tell me the answer. You never write in your books? Oh, you write, right? So, always. Correct. We always write in our books. Very good. Let's see the next one. The teacher reads to us. The teacher reads to us. Now, the teacher always reads, but teacher sometimes write also. Correct? On the board, teacher sometimes dictate also. So, teacher often reads to us. The teacher often, like 75%, she reads to us. The teacher often reads to bus. Next one. We go to bed at night. We go to bed at night. You must be knowing this answer. It's very easy. So when do you go to bed? In the morning? No. In the evening? No. Then we always. Very good. We always go to bed at night. Very good. Now let's see the next one. I eat ice cream. I eat ice cream. So you always eat ice cream? No, you never eat ice cream. That's a lie. You eat, right? Then sometimes or often? Sometimes. Very good. I sometimes eat ice cream. So sometimes you want to eat chocolate also, right? Sometimes you want to eat pizza. Sometimes you want to eat burger. So I sometimes eat ice cream. Okay. Now let's see the next one. I walk to school. Now, if my house is near, I will always walk. If my house is not that near but not that far, so I will often walk to the school. If my house is little more far, sometimes I will walk or sometimes I will take auto or a rickshaw. If my house is really very far, I will never walk to the school. I will take a rickshaw or a bus. So my house is not that far, just little bit away. Now little bit away. So I often walk to school. So here I often walk to school. Okay. Next one. I do my homework in the afternoon. I do my homework in the afternoon. So here you should do your homework. Okay. So if you're doing your homework in the afternoon, it's very good. So here you should always do your homework. So here I always do my homework in the afternoon. Okay, now let's see the next one. We get the newspaper in the morning. So tell me, when do we get the newspaper? In the morning? Correct. So we always get a newspaper in the morning, or we never, or sometimes, or often? Always. Very good. We always get the newspaper in the morning. Okay, so you can see the paper boy. He always give us the newspaper in the morning. Okay, this is the next one and the last one. I read a newspaper. I always read a newspaper, or I never read a newspaper, or sometimes, or often. So I want to read newspaper every day, but on the weekends I don't. So out of 7 days I read 5 days newspaper. That means I often read a newspaper. I often read a newspaper. Okay. Now I request all of you to see this chapter again. This is very easy chapter. Go through the words again, always, never, sometimes, often, and revise this chapter. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye.